the 7 processes of PRINCE2. And what this chart is supposed to do is, so this is basically a mind map. This mind map is created in a structure that we have all the 7 themes and the 7 processes put up together in one mind map. You can possibly take a nice printout of this and put it on your workstation as you're working, and everything that is there in PRINCE2 is put up here very neatly. So it is very important for us to understand how to interpret this mind map that we have here. Now, if you see, there are 3 dotted lines, and that is the starting point of this. So there are 3 dotted lines, one on the top, one somewhere close to the middle, and one on the bottom. These 3 dotted lines are breaking this mind map into the 3 organizational levels that we have in PRINCE2. Right? So we have directing given over here. At the side, at the left hand side, you can see it's given directing. Then you have between the 2nd dotted line and the 3rd dotted line, the area is called managing. And between the 3rd dotted line and the bottom is called the delivery. The topmost part till the 1st dotted line is the corporate or program management. So which means that all the activities that come in between this is done by that level of management. So anything above the 1st dotted line is taken care by the corporate or program management. Between the 1st dotted line and the 2nd dotted line, all the activities that we have mentioned out here is done by the project board, because project board is directing the particular project. And then between the 2nd dotted line and the 3rd dotted line, everything is done by the project manager, because the project manager is managing the entire project on day-to-day basis on behalf of the project board. And then from the 3rd dotted line to the bottom, the activities that's given in the boxes which are there are basically being done by the team manager and the team members. Okay, now let's look at the 7 processes over here. So all the 7 processes are given up, and the activities that are there are mentioned within the boxes. So you see the blue boxes which have the processes, which have the activities given within them. So firstly, you have starting up of a project. The next one is directing a project. Third one is initiating a project. Then you have managing stage boundary. Then you have controlling a stage. Below that you have managing product delivery. And finally you have closing a project. Now if you see carefully, there are certain processes that are repeated. So for example, managing stage boundary is repeated. The reason this is repeated is because of the number of stages that your project is broken down into. If your project is broken down into 10 different stages, obviously it's going to happen 10 times. If you're similarly controlling a stage. So controlling a stage will happen multiple times based on the number of stages that you break down your project into. Managing stage boundary will also be repeated in the number of times that you break down your project into. And then you are managing product delivery for the number of products that you are going to deliver in terms of in the entire project. But starting up of a project can happen only once, initiating a project can happen only once, and closing a project can happen only once. Right? Now if you look at this, okay, so you've got the corporate or program management or the customer who is sitting outside the PRINCE2 project organization structure. The mandate, the project mandate comes from the corporate. Once the project mandate comes from the corporate also appoints the executive and project manager, which is also part of the starting up of a project process. So in the first process, they send you the executive and the project manager, and then the project manager takes over. There are certain activities that the project manager will take over, which are capture previous lessons, design and appoint the entire project management team, prepare the outline business case and the project product description, select the project approach and assemble the project brief, and plan the initiation stage. Now if you see, there are a few orange boxes below over here, right? So it's called management products. These orange boxes are actually talking about which are the management products that will be created as part of this particular process. So when you're doing starting up for project process, which management products will be created are put up here in the orange boxes. Now, once starting up a project process is complete, at the end of it, you will be planning the initiation stage. Whatever has been created and whatever information you have, this is taken up to the project board. When it goes to the project board as part of the directing a project process. So the second process is called the directing a project process, which happens all across the project. So once starting up is over, the directing a project process gets initiated, and that continues till the end of the project. So as part of directing a project process, the project board will then look at all the documents that you have prepared, look at the feasibility of the project, and then give you approval to move to the next stage of the project, which is called the initiating a project process. Now, as part of the initiating a project process, the project manager will now agree to tailoring requirements. So they will try to understand what all changes needs to be done to suit the environment that they are working on, right? And they will agree to the tailoring requirements. They will then prepare the risk management approach. They will prepare a quality management approach. They will prepare a communication management approach. They will prepare a configuration management approach. They will set up project controls. What are project controls now? Project controls are nothing but tolerances in identifying when any activity is being done. What are the tolerances? How do we keep control on those tolerances? At this stage, we will also create the project plan. We will refine the business case. So the original business case that was created as part of the outline business case in starting up a project process will be converted to a detailed business case, because now only once you've done all these activities, you are able to create a detailed business case. And then you will assemble a PID. PID is nothing but a project initiation document. Project initiation document is a consolidation of all these documents that get together, and then we will start planning on managing the stage boundary process, whereby you make a plan for the next stage. Suppose this particular stage has gone into an exception, you have to produce an exception plan. Any changes that have to be done to the project plan can be done here, because we have to remember that during the course of the project, changes may or will happen to the project plan. Changes may happen to the business case, because business case is never static. Business case will undergo changes across the life of the project, and then report the end of the stage. All these documents put together goes back to the project board, who will review it and then approve the next particular stage. Now, ideally, we also need to understand that initiating a project process is one of the most important areas of project management in PRINCE2. And the reason is because all your thinking, all your decisions, most of them go in here, because at this point in time, you have to now decide whether you actually start delivery of products or not. There could be a situation where, after doing all these activities, you realize that the project is no more feasible to be proceeded over. Now, in that case, the project needs to be stopped at this point in time. So this is a very critical piece of work that we do as part of the initiating a project process. Most of your management products are also created as part of this project itself, as part of this process itself. Now, once all these documents, once the entire PID is taken and given to the project board will then review and then decide whether we have to move with the next stage of the project. In case they decide to, yes, we've got a good business and we need to move to the next stage, then we move to controlling a stage process, whereby as part of the controlling a stage process, the project manager give a work package to the team manager. The team manager will execute the work package. Team manager will deliver the work package, and it will all come back to the project manager. Now, as part of controlling a stage, the project manager will report highlights, escalate issues and risks, take corrective action wherever required, review the status of a stage, capture and examine issues and risk, review the work package status. So the work package which is given to the team manager will be reviewed, received completed work package, and then finally plan for the next stage when all the work packages for that particular stage is complete. So as part of this one stage, you've got three processes running together. You've got the controlling a stage, you've got managing product delivery, and you've got a managing stage boundary. All three processes running hand to hand together in this particular stage. Once everything for this particular stage is over, the project manager will then report back to the project board. Project board will review everything and then approve moving to the next stage. And this continues till we reach closing of project process, whereby you prepare your planned closure or you prepare premature closure, as the case may be, hand over products to the live environment, evaluate the project, and recommend project closure to the project board. Right? So this is how this entire mind map is created, which will give you an entire end-to-end process flow of the 7 processes of PRINCE2.